Hello, hello. Greetings, Captain. It's been 3 long weeks and I miss you.
Aw, I'm glad somebody did. You know,
No, I did. I was like, can't wait till I get to tell Captain this, Captain that. And for all of you all out there, Anthony, don't worry about that. If you're a Raider, you ain't watching no Super Bowl on Sunday. Not unless they chain you to the chair.
you know, and I'm gonna obviously I'm watching the pre. I'm watching the commercial. I'm
No.
watching the commercials. Yeah, no, I have because here's the other thing. Although I got the perfect excuse not to watch anything is because, and I said this as well, for the next 3 weeks, I ain't doing a show
Oh,
after Sunday. So if I'm not doing a show after Sunday, I don't need to watch.
right.
And I think that only I think maybe it's because the other pirate in the house will probably out of because they know it's on. And we're gonna eat. We're gonna have our our and it was like on Jimmy, oh, not Jimmy Kimmel, it's like the other guy, the NBC guy, Jimmy Fallon. He
Fallon.
goes that
Mhm.
Super Bowl eating is kind of like Thanksgiving eating, except you eat all the stuff you really want to eat.
Right.
It's not like Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a bunch of crap that's probably not really good for me. And then we're gonna eat. So in order to eat, we got to have something to watch. So we might tune in and out, but I'm not going to take any interest in it. This is, as I put in the thing, this is the Raider Haters Super Bowl sequel, just like it was a couple years ago. The Raider
Oh,
Haters Super Bowl.
there's no question in my mind. I've already made up my mind. I've booked myself for Sunday. I'm going to be working. I have no interest at all in being force fed Taylor Swift,
Oh yeah,
Mahomes, and
yeah,
Kelsey commercials, for 4 hours. That's not happening to me. And the way that you protest is just switch it off. Hi, Edward. How you doing? No, I wanted to kick it off and get it started right away. We of course now have officially hired Antonio Pierce, and I'll see all the the glamour and glitz around him. I got one word: results.
yeah.
Raider Nation has been tricked too often by all the hype that comes with these coaches. They did it with Del Rio, they did it with Gruden, all this hype. And then what were our rewards? Nothing. Okay. And I consider Pierce the same way. Show me that you can do this job. The players love you. Let them perform for you.
Hmm.
Okay.
I agree there.
And and that's where I am with Pierce. I'm wishing him all the best, but we've been fooled before. And
That sounds like you need to break out the the Who song, and we won't be fooled again.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Exactly. We have been there, done that. Okay, with all the hype that comes with this glorious new coach. He's Raider, he's this, and we're gonna give him a chance. Yes, I'm gonna give him a chance, all right.
hmm,
I want to see results.
yeah, I
All I
agree with
care
that.
about at this point, we've been waiting 20 years. And Mark, if it doesn't get done this time, then we'll do it again. But I'm not going to give him the kind of vote of confidence until I see what kind of head coach he can be. Because, of course, he's a first timer. He said full team, his own guys, and and we also have a new GM in the house,
Yep,
which
yep.
I'm kind of excited about, although I cannot predict again. Been there, done that with McKenzie and Mayock.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the difference is, and the difference is that McKenzie had no clue,
zero
and
experience,
Mayock was a
zero
TV
experience.
TV GM, so they were still they had never hit the job before. So we got experience, but I am going to drop some positives. Teresa Alakan, aka Black Dano, said he calls him Tom Fiasco because of
Mm-hmm.
tenure in San Diego / Los Angeles. So for all
Mm-hmm.
those that say, Tom Fiasco this time, no, it's Tom Fiasco. If you use that, you got to give copyright, money to Sharisa Alakan, aka Black Dano. He does have a point. He does have experience, but it's all about what you said for the with the coach. It's all about results. It's
Yeah,
all about
I
results.
really don't really matter, but I have been watching Telesco since his cult days. For those of you who don't know, he had he was director of player personnel. First, he was the director of scouts, then moved up to director of player personnel, and then vice president of player personnel before the Chargers hired him away. And his record with the Colts also. The thing Telesco sees is good role player talent. You don't win Super Bowls without good role players, the Jack Squiricks of the world, okay? The Rod
May he rest in peace.
Martins.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, may he rest in peace. And I can't be more specific how we have struck out big time since 2003. Don't put it all on Mark. You're trying to change history. Al Davis's drafts between 2003 and 2012, well, expletive deleted. Okay? I cannot imagine Fabian Washington, anybody? Or maybe Jamarcus Russell,
Oh,
Stanford Route. I
uh,
mean, I could, and the free agent picks. Remember, Tommy
Javon Walker.
Kelly. Oh
Javon
my, and
Walker.
Javon Walker. This was before Mark. Okay,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were doing bad in the draft and in free agency long before Mark took over in 2012,
And
and then
actually, the only positive thing I can ever say about Lane Kiffin, and this is it, the only
mhm.
positive thing I can say about Lane Kiffin is that he wanted Megatron in the draft, and Al said, no, we're going to draft Jamarcus Russell. That's the only
Well,
thing I can say
I mean,
positive.
that story has been told over and over. Jamarcus, for whatever reason, didn't work out. All I'm saying is it was just one more bad first round pick in a
Right.
line of
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
first round picks that Al Davis made until his passing in 2011. And then we start right away with a GM that tours the hospital wards to decide who he's going to draft first round. and,
No, he went to the mash units. Yeah, like you
yes,
said. Yeah, who's coming out? Yeah,
the walking wounded. If you didn't need surgery or hadn't been injured as a
we don't
college
want you.
player, Mackenzie didn't want you. I
Mhm.
mean, the Gary and Conleys, the Obi Melanfonwus of the world. I cannot imagine how many Eddie Vanderdoos, PJ Hall. I mean,
Man, you're going down memory lane, man.
oh
Wow.
no, 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 no. I have reviewed my stat tells it alone, and I did analysis and had somebody check it for me of the 52 draft picks between 2015 and 2020, and that's Mackenzie and Mayock.
Hmm.
Only six are on the roster today, and two of them will be gone, and that would leave four. 30 of them are no longer in
In
the
football.
NFL.
Yeah.
That's an incredible stat. 30 guys in the last 8 years couldn't stay in football. They're either
Now,
their injuries or their talent or something made them unusable by any NFL team, all 30,
I
31.
gotta ask though, and you are correct. Like I said, we really, really shit the bit on that.
Mhm.
But do you have a, because that's the what is it? You know, in a science experiment, you have the control group, and then you have
Mhm.
the other thing. Do you have any stats for the other
Free
folks as well?
agency.
No, no,
Oh,
no. I
oh,
mean,
no,
like
no,
for
no.
other teams.
League wide.
That, thank you. Yeah.
League wide, and looked at it 2015 to 2020.
Uh-huh.
2020 was the period we examined. More than 30% of the players picked in that time frame were still on the team. Our percentage was 11%.
That's what I was. That's what. See, I wanted to make sure that people understood how we stacked up against everybody else because the stats are bad, but I want to make sure that people can
An
understand and
average of
relate to everybody else.
32% of the guys they drafted between 2015 and 2020 were still on the roster.
Right.
Okay. And this even goes for teams like Carolina and the Bears. I mean, Arizona. It's a
Yeah.
league wide average of 32%. You got to hit that kind of number. I mean, you cannot go year after year and lose your entire draft class, which is
So
what
that's
has
that's
happened to
that's
us.
1 in 3 for everybody else, and we're at 1 in 10.
Yeah. Basically, that's how the numbers work out. And I'm going to get my statistical gurus working on more extrapolations of how that works out. And thank you, Captain, for pointing out. We need to talk about the 30 that are not in the NFL. That is more than 50%. The average around the league is about 25 to 30% that
Yeah.
are no longer in the league after a certain amount of time, say 5 years. We are 20 percentage points over in our misses. I mean, when a guy is no longer in the league for whatever reason, injuries, head cases, right? Don't forget about the head cases. When you draft
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
Carl Joseph, okay, first round, and he's shorter than my grandma, okay, and as a strong safety. I
He
mean,
was very small.
we're swinging and missing like, I mean, I hate to say
Like,
like Babe Ruth because Babe Ruth led in strikeouts for a long
yeah,
time,
oh yeah, yeah, but you
but
everybody always talks about
we're
his home
not
runs, but
swinging
no, we
for the
weren't hitting no
fences.
home runs.
We
Yeah,
weren't
no.
hitting any home runs, and the home runs that we hit in that 2014 draft, of course, none of them are on our roster today. But
Hmm.
I didn't go back to 2014 deliberately because I want to know. That's why a guy like Telesco excites me because I know that he's going to at least meet the league average. Okay.
Yeah.
Every GM picks busts. Half their draft class are busts in terms of they're not on the roster anymore, they get injured, whatever. You got to do a settlement with them and so on and so forth. But we were doing injury settlements left and right. I mean, I remember guys that I thought were truly, the year we chose Michael Rivera, and oh, when I think about those promising drafts and the fact that none of them stayed on the team more than 3 years,
Hmm.
just gone, and then out of football. Nobody else picked them up either. That tells you a lot. Telesco will give you the league average. I think he knows talent. Now, people want to talk about his time with the Chargers. And let me talk about the San Diego Chargers, okay? I'm not even going to give them respect of Los Angeles, okay? The franchise is cursed,
Hmm.
okay? These are the kind of guys that can go 14-2 in the regular season and get ousted by the Jets in the first round of the playoffs. That's the kind of franchise where we have what was his name, Marlon McKeever running down the sideline. Sure enough, touchdown. What happens? He fumbles the ball.
Hmm.
San Diego is a cursed franchise. I'm not sure that Harbaugh, without a priest to exorcise whatever demons they have over there, is going to
Mhm.
be any more successful. Truly, a guy like Don Coryell, now a Hall of Famer, I mean, he couldn't do nothing with him either. Never got in a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
What kind of luck is that? This is a franchise, and then you want to say, well, he didn't do that well. The only thing he didn't do well is pick head coaches, but neither did anybody else either before him. They had four bums before him, not including Bobby Ross. I
I
went
was going
back.
to say Bobby Ross got him to the Super Bowl to get shalunked by the San Francisco 49ers. And it was great to be in San Diego during that Super Bowl, because I was in the Navy and San Diego. I had to listen to that stupid
Mm-hmm.
San Diego
Home
Supercharger
base.
song, and they got bushwhacked. And it
I
was
mean,
great. It was
it was
great.
great to watch. That's a cursed franchise. I
Yeah.
mean, you go 13-3, get in the playoffs. The next year, you go. After this is after the 14-2 debacle. Then you
With
go
Marty.
13-3,
Yeah.
right? Get in the Super Bowl. Who was it that ousted the Colts?
Yeah.
I may have it reversed, but I believe it was either the Colts when they were 14-2 or
Well,
the
actually,
Jets.
I think Harbaugh was the one that got him out of got him out of the playoffs. I
Goodness
think he was
gracious,
a
first
I
round.
yeah, I think it was Harbaugh that was actually the quarterback for the. I could be mistaken. Somebody could look at that, but I think it was Jim Harbaugh, quarterbacking for the Colts that beat them.
Right. And let's talk also, if you want to start trashing what Telesco did in San Diego, the injuries. Good Lord, what year does anybody remember that either Keenan Allen or Mike Williams did not go down with season ending injuries? Raise your hand if you remember one. I don't.
I'm sitting on my hands. No, I don't
His
know.
main wide receivers could never stay healthy. And that includes his offensive line. Last year, their offensive line had four injuries. Two were season ending, two came back, but it was already too late. The quarterback was banged up, broke his finger. He's gone for the season. Now, how is that the GM's fault? Oh, by the way, Staley was the GM's fault. That guy, when I knew, Captain, let me tell you when I knew he was gone. After that Detroit game where they gave up 550 something yards in offense, and Detroit scored like 40 something points on them, and they're asking Staley, "Are you still calling the defensive plays? I am in charge. Stop asking me that question. I am calling the defensive signals until I tell you otherwise." I said, "Look, he gone." And then, of course, they played us. And that was it. He could not stay in the building. And
Hmm.
oh, by the way, they sent Telesco packing that day, that next day too. Remember?
Oh yeah.
After we beat them. But what GM could we have picked that knows the AFC West better than Telesco? Anybody? I mean, I'm always open for suggestions on who would have been a better GM pick. Now I know there were a lot of Champ Kelly fans,
Well, but
and
he's still here, and still going to help out with the personnel, which is good.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But what you didn't want was two blind mice again, like you had in 2012, like you had when Mayock came. I mean, you don't want a GM with zero experience anymore. Your last three GMs had no GM experience. You don't want to do that again. Been there, done that. Let's do something different. Plus, you got a first time head coach.
Well, Peggy, I got to ask though, because would you and I'm one of them. People like me wanted Dodds as GM.
That's interesting.
I wanted Dodds as GM, and I have it on very good authority from people that actually know him that he is a fantastic evaluator of talent as well. He's been in the GM discussions the last 2 or 3 times that we've had one in the building. This was at least his second time that I know of, and he didn't make it again.
Well, hold on now. Dodds, Dodds.
Yeah,
I never
Dodds.
heard of him.
Yeah,
Joshua
no,
Dobbs.
no, not Dobbs. Dodds. Ed Dodds.
Ed
He was
Dodd.
yeah. He's with the
And now,
Colts.
why haven't I heard of him before?
Yeah, no, he was the when we hired Mayock, he was one of the people that we had um that we were gonna have as the GM, and we ended up hiring Mayock. When we hired who was the last general manager uh that we got rid of? Who was
Well,
our
I
last
mean,
GM?
Ziegler was our last
Yeah.
general
Okay,
manager.
yeah, right. There you go. When we hired Ziegler, he was the guy that was interviewing for the job then, Ed Dodds, and we ended up getting Ziegler, and they ended up keeping Kelly around because he impressed people so much that they didn't want him out of the building. But
Hmm.
they kept him in by making a job for him. Dodds was like in Baltimore, or sorry, not Baltimore, Indianapolis, and he has a very, very good evaluator of talent. I wish he would have been the choice, but
Hmm.
it didn't happen. I mean, Telesco, I have no issue with because again, he has a lot of experience, and for the most part, he's done well.
Hmm.
Like I said, as long as he doesn't pick the coach, and now it's already done for him, so he can't screw that up.
Well, the
So
thing about Dodds was he was with the Raiders, 2005, 2006 as an intern,
yeah, so he
but
has that experience as well.
he doesn't have the track record Telesco has. Telesco knows talent, and I can't really say enough about what he brings to the organization. Now, some people are blaming, are we saying, some people are blaming the loss of Cliff Kingsbury. I'm like, we dodged the bullet.
Yeah, that I mean, I didn't mind. Again, like I said, I didn't. I'm kind of like mellow all the way around. Yeah, so I said, yeah, okay, I can deal with it. Kingsbury, yeah, okay.
Okay,
I wanted some. Yeah,
whatever.
it's okay. Uh, but when you look at it in the full aspect, I'm like, yeah, Kingsbury pulled a McDaniel. I'm coming. I'm coming.
And this is
No, I'm
my
not.
list. This is what I want done for me.
Exactly. And it was one of those things they said, well, he wanted this amount of money, and he wanted this amount of years. No, I can't attest to this being the total truth, but I pretty much can figure out he said, I want Caleb Williams, so you got to go get him. And if you ain't going to go get him, I'm going to take my football and go home. And
And
that's what he
how
did.
many times have the Raiders failed with the experience of a coach dictating to a GM?
I get it. And that's why I said if that was what his mindset was, bye, Felicia. I'm very happy that he's out of the building.
The other thing is psychological, and this is something people don't consider. Kingsbury is a former head coach stepping down, right,
Mm-hmm.
to be an OC. Okay, this is a step back for him. If I'm going to remind people of the situation, I don't know whether they know when Joe Judge was coach of the Giants, he brought in as his offensive coordinator who? Jason Garrett, right? Who had
Yeah.
just gotten fired by the Cowboys. It
Mm-hmm.
was a disaster. Captain, you cannot have a guy with those kind of superior ambitions, a guy who's used to being able to have his way and command in the same locker room with your first time head coach. The balance of power would already be out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be a matter of I've been a head coach, I know the tricks. I'm the head. I've been a head coach, and I don't like the way you're coaching. Let me put a bug in the players' ears to let them know that you don't know what you're talking about.
Kind of
Okay?
like what Mike White did.
Mm-hmm. It's a psychological little thing that guys who are seeking power and even the head coaching job
Mm-hmm.
will do. They will take their experience and knowledge, which the first time head coach don't know about, and subtly use it in the locker room to shape opinion
Mm-hmm.
and undermine authority. That's the psychological aspect of having a Cliff Kingsbury with his ego in the house. I'm glad he's over there with Quinn. They can have that. I tell you, I would have liked to have Bieniemy, but he's been blackballed. I do
Yeah.
not know why. And I have my suspicions.
Well, you're in DC, so you hear all of the good things.
Well, we hear it, but I have my suspicions. It
Uh-huh.
wouldn't be because of the 1 year that he spent when he spent 7 years in Kansas City building a dynasty with
Yeah.
Reed. Okay? If you're going to take the 1 year he had in Washington and compare it, I mean, even today, Mahomes had to come out defending him. Hold it, hold it. What is all this talk? And then there's these whispers about things in his past. I went and looked up his criminal record. We got all of 2 driving offenses, and then the sex scandal at Colorado
Yep, that's it.
20 years ago. He's been blackballed.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not know what it may be on a personal level or whatever. But as we're talking about an offensive mind that knows Mahomes like the back of his hand, what would he be like as our OC?
Well, honestly, Peggy, though, Graham, the second time around, because we already talked about how he bitched out the first time when Kansas City went
And let's
into
not forget
Vegas.
about 2022 either,
Okay,
twice.
okay,
He's
but
really only had one good game against him. Come on now.
well,
And he's not the only
Peggy,
one that's had bad games.
Peggy, wait a second now. Also, remember though that was outside of the tutelage of McFired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, McFired when he was allowed to be his own person, the defense picked up. Okay, and
But
I
Pierce
think
had a
that
lot to
granted
do with
the
that
first time
too.
he played Kansas City, right, the first time he played Kansas City, he really wasn't out of the shell yet, but he got a chance to say to go and evoke, and that's what we saw on Christmas. So I think that we still got to see what he can do this next year. I think that it'll be providing that he's allowed to maintain his ascension and be his own person. I think that would be good. Now, Eric Bieniemy would have been fantastic on our staff, and he's unemployed right now. He's
Well, he will
unemployed.
be. He's been blackballed. Okay? I'm going to call it like I see it. There is no reason on earth why a man with that kind of experience and that good of a record can't get work. There's a
Well,
concerted effort to keep him out.
somebody's going
For
to hire him
reasons
eventually.
I don't even think so. I think he's a Brian Flores. I think he's a man that does things his way. I think that the powers that be are rubbed wrong by the way his manner. Something personal is going on here because I
Well,
can't.
Brian Flores did get a job this year.
No. Brian Flores is still engaged in litigation with the NFL. They're paving the way for settlement. So I
I
don't
thought
give
I thought he went.
no, I
I
don't give
thought
Minnesota any points for hiring Flores
okay,
when
yeah.
I know he is still involved in litigation, which means settlement discussions. The NFL
Okay.
doesn't want anything to come to trial. Nothing.
And that's a great segue, because if we got time tonight, well, I don't know if we're going to have time tonight. I want to talk about the Gruden case, because that is a great segue for that. But we got other things to talk about.
They absolutely don't want anything to come to trial. So now we get to our OC selection, guys.
Luke Getsy.
I mean, if I could just put up the word silence, crickets chirping. If we could have sound effects, Captain, crickets chirping.
Let me know. Well, let me know. Tell me these things. I'll try to get them put into the computer.
I know it, and I got nothing bad to say about the little boy. Okay, only that he's been an OC for 2 years.
Yeah,
and in those 2 years, I put up the stats on him too. He did have the #1 rushing game in 2022, and this year he had the #2 rushing game in the NFL. Only problem is 40% of the yards
was by the quarterback.
This year were by the quarterback position. That is correct. And the other part of that is, and oh, by the way, in case we wanted to be more than one-dimensional, that was a pun, then we also might want to pass the ball occasionally. Mm-hmm. He ranked 32nd in passing in 2022.
And how many teams are in the NFL, Peggy?
32.
Okay, for those
that means he was dead last. Mm-hmm. And then in 2023, this year, he was 26.
So he wasn't dead last.
No.
There's some promise. There's some promise.
The point is, never taught Fields how to be a pocket quarterback. Yeah, and but we have learned, you're not going to run your way to a Super Bowl. Ask Jackson and Allen. You have to win the game from the pocket.
Okay? How about and I'm ready because you brought it up. How about we take a pass on the fact that he was probably force-fed? Yes. You will make Justin Fields work.
Of course. I don't have that skills. But wait a minute. But I don't have the skill set. That's why it was so hard. If I had the skill set, I might have been able to change a running back that can throw, into a decent pocket quarterback. Mind you, it's hard to go against instinct, and Fields was probably fighting them all the way.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
But then that begs the question, what is he coming to here? Think about it, guys. He's got to have, think about the job that Getsy has in front of him here.
Well, I can honestly say, and only because I did a Scotia looking at him, that when he was with the Packers, and you know this too, when he
wasn't an OC.
Peggy, I can only give you apples and apples, okay? When he was with the Packers and he worked as the quarterback's coach, Aaron Rodgers had an MVP year. And when he was with the receivers, Devontae Adams had his best year as a wide receiver, his breakout year. Okay,
but he didn't design or call any of the plays.
I get you, but maybe
now he's being required to design and call plays.
Okay, and obviously the jury's still out, but I like the fact that when he has the proper tools, if he has the proper quarterback.
He didn't do it in Green Bay. You can't. It's not apples to apples.
Peggy,
a position coach is not a coordinator.
You can only go with what you see and know. Okay,
position coaches don't run They don't run the offense. Offensive coordinators do. It's very
Okay.
nice
Well,
that he
I'm gonna
had
put.
brilliant pupils in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. It's absolutely meaningless when it comes to the
Okay.
job that we need him to do here. We don't need him to work with players anymore. He has to work with a unit.
Okay. We can only give him what we got. We can only give him. He has the, you know, the moral aptitude, not moral. He's got the aptitude. I don't know where moral came in there.
We don't
To
know
me, it
that
wasn't.
either. Because
Well,
if we're judging by the record of the Bears while he was there, and there are many factors that go into a record, 3-14 in his first year as OC, 7-10 as his second year of OC. One of the wins, courtesy of Josh McDaniels.
right,
But
right.
but what I'm saying is, this guy, if you're gonna say discount what he did in Chicago Bears, that means
No, I did not say discount what he did with the Chicago Bears. I said that
I only
you
care
know
about him as an OC.
you know
I don't
how
care
Al
about what happened before.
you know how Al put the thumbs down or put the thumb on whoever he wanted to, as the in Raiders of old. It's like he would put the thumb down on a certain position group or a certain thing. I think personally, he was told in no uncertain terms, we got Justin Fields. We spent a lot of money on Justin Fields. We drafted him this high. Make it effing work. And
And he
and and,
couldn't.
and, and he, but see, but that might not necessarily be on him. That's why as soon as we got him, I said, guess what, folks? We ain't going to be trading for Justin Fields. No.
Well, and that's that, Captain. You're probably right about that. But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm on another level altogether. He has to throw out any semblance, any remnants from Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, he is.
Every position. He has to throw it all out. We don't even have an O-line coach, by the way, yet. But
Not yet.
let me just say, and there's a whole lot of coaches missing. He has to probably
Mm-hmm.
hire those people,
Mm-hmm.
right? As the OC, he's going to have to hire those people, find them, and hire them. And mind you, other NFL teams are out there depleting the talent pool as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, as the OC here, he's got to rebuild an offense, starting with that quarterback position,
Mm-hmm.
which he was frustrated with Justin Fields.
Well,
Fields
I
probably
can.
frustrated him.
Oh, if it wasn't for murder, I'm sure he would have probably capped his ass.
Yeah, but
But see that
that's not going to help him here.
well
All of that is
actually
fine. Blaming it on
well
the quarterback is,
no, well Peggy, we're good, and I know you've been paying attention to my shows when I said the quarterback room this next upcoming year is going to have a veteran, not named Garbageopolo, veteran to be determined. Okay, AOC 4. And I keep saying a draft pick, but I'm actually stepping off of that. It's going to be either a draft pick or the kid that they got with the futures contract,
Anthony
that
Brown.
Anthony Brown. If he can mold him, if he likes what he sees in that, he'll stay. If not, because he's got until the draft to kind of work with him to see what he's got. If he doesn't stick, then they are going to get a quarterback to be determined in a round to be determined. And based upon the fact that he doesn't like running quarterbacks, you can throw half of the quarterbacks that are in the draft out the window.
Well, and I'm not sure whether he doesn't like him or he just can't coach him. I mean, there's a big difference. If we're talking skill sets.
Yeah.
Some offensive coordinators, many offensive coordinators, especially the ones in the good old boy coaching network, they don't know how to play design and play call for the guys. So they just let them run, which is what our friend Getsy did with Fields when he was healthy. And I'm saying he's got an entirely different situation here. He's got to develop and build an offense around the guy he picks as the quarterback. Then he's got to improve pass protection on the O line. Let me give you the laundry list. And Captain, you already know this laundry list. Then he's got to decide what are you going to do about this running game. He's going to keep 4 running backs. So he's going to keep 2. Is Jacobs going to? They're going to try to retain Jacobs
for the right price.
I mean,
and not and,
no,
for not,
no,
and not for a lot of money.
Even more. It means even more. It's about carries. It's about carries.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob stays. He will want the lion's share of the carries. He will want to be the undisputed starting running back.
And
no question about it. And what do you do about Zeus?
If we'll see if it's me, and it's not me, but if it's me, I say, hey, Josh, we appreciate all that you've done, and you've had such a fantastic career. But, hey, you let me talk, damn it.
Okay, go ahead.
For one. It's RBC, running back by committee. It's a lot of heads on in here, and we're gonna match the situations to the running back that's gonna make it happen at the time with down and distance. We're either gonna have pluggers or runners or scat backs, and we're gonna have them all in here, and it's by play design. And guess what? You're not gonna have any bonus money if you have this amount of carries and that amount of carries on this, and your contract is gonna be commensurate with a role player. If you want that, we'd love to have you. And if you don't, bye. That's me, though.
Do you think a guy with that kind of ego is going to accept that?
If he wants,
I agree with you. I mean, I'm longing for the days of Clarence David, Mark Van Egan, Marv Hubbard. Yeah. I'm longing for those days. But do you think Josh will accept that?
Maybe, but probably not. And that means we got Zeus. We got running backs to be determined. Okay, we got Britton Brown if he comes back, right? We got Zeus. We got and we got the free agents, role players. Like you said, that Telesco, you said that gets good role players. Mm-hmm. If he gets those guys, because remember, he's the same guy that drafted what's his nose, the running back that the Chargers got wanted to get. Eckler, thank you. He's the guy that drafted Eckler in the 7th round.
Well, more importantly, he found Herbert. Now, I mean, when everybody was saying
Herbert dropped into his lap per Charger folks.
Right.
He couldn't screw that one up. It's kind of like, Khalil Mack fell into our laps when the Jaguars were stupid enough to go get the kid out of UCF, and Khalil Mack fell into our laps. So you can't really screw that one up. Herbert fell into his lap. So, yay on Herbert. But he did draft some other people. But like I said, they're saying that he drafts well in the first couple rounds, and he doesn't draft so well in the later rounds. I said, okay, that's fine.
Because we've been having the opposite experience.
Exactly. Don't screw up rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll have Champ Kelly. We'll have Champ Kelly come and clean up the rest of the stuff with some people that are dynamic people in the later rounds with his help.
Shalik Calhoun. I can't throw Jihad Ward because he's actually still in the NFL.
He was playing for the Giants the last time I saw him.
Mm-hmm. He sure was. Yeah. So I can't but when I think about those 2 guys that were drafted 2 and 3 that year, and I remember being so excited. Oh, we're finally gonna deal with the D-line problem. Yay. I'm just saying Telesco won't do that.
Right.
I mean, it's just a dearth of talent. But let's go back to the list of things that we're expecting our OC with 2 years experience in Chicago to do. We stopped at the running back. He's got to decide. Mm-hmm. Is he going to do this running back by committee thing, which I think is a wonderful idea, but is it him? Can he coach it? Can he play call for it?
Is
I
Tom Coughlin still an
Yeah,
advisor?
yes, he is, and
Okay.
I'm not sure. This is all new to the Raiders. People keep forgetting that we've only had Al Davis as our GM for the 40 years. The first 40 years was just
Yeah.
Al. For
Yeah.
50 years, it was just Al. And we don't really understand the division of power at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say that if we have Tom Coughlin still advising, and we hired Marvin Lewis to help us out, those are two people whose thought processes, knowledge, and winning I'll take as a godsend to the organization.
Yes, and I understand it when you I think it is wonderful that the Raiders are giving Antonio Pierce every tool he needs. Whether they're giving him an OC that can do the complete rebuild that is necessary on the Raiders offense, I'm not sure yet. We shall see. I mean, we really shall see what's going on here. But I haven't finished the list of things. The other thing that our new OC has to do is figure out the way to integrate the tight ends more into the game.
Oh, I'm
We
glad you say that because he did that with Cole Kmet with the Bears. Cole Kmet, their tight end, who I was very high on, by the way. I think he's out of Notre Dame as well, if I'm not mistaken. His stats kept going up and up in the 2 years that he was there as
well,
well.
the thing is, but I'm talking about like the way Kansas City used Kelsey, the way San Francisco uses Kittle, the way Detroit uses Laporta.
Okay.
That kind of integration.
Okay.
We are a team of tight ends. Come on, Casper, Christensen. Hello,
Raymond Chester.
Raymond Chester. I mean, hello. We have been a team. The guy Miller, remember
Yeah, Zach Miller.
Zach Miller.
Yeah.
We used to once upon a time know what to do with the tight end
Yeah. But
under
that's what
Josh.
they got. That's what they got Mayer for. Even McFire got a nugget in the second round.
Yeah, well, McFired had a Gronkowski and learned nothing from it of how to make a tight end a weapon.
Well, he was a schmuck. That's why he's no longer working for us.
I want to see the tight end as a weapon. It frees up so much stuff going on over top. I mean, you get a tight end that's feared going across the middle. You'll get single coverage anytime you want. But I digress. The list of things that the new OC must do. I ain't finished yet. And
Okay.
yes, he has to build chemistry between whoever his quarterback is and those wide receivers, which is the chemistry I think was missing between AOC and the wide receivers last year. That's mainly because you need an off season to build chemistry. I mean,
Yes.
you need mini camps, and preseason. And AOC shows up November 1st. Okay, it's your job. That's not. There was no way he was going to have the kind of chemistry he needed to have. It's just little things like timing. Where is Devontae going to be? I mean, those kind of things are the things that our new offensive coordinator is going to have to pay attention to. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to have to build it. And we could talk about Devontae, but we have to talk about the chemistry between him and the quarterback. We had Devontae last
Mm-hmm.
year. Okay? The chemistry between him and Carr was obvious. The man had 1,500 yards passing under Carr. But when Carr went away, so did the chemistry.
Yeah.
Suddenly, he was being thrown to by guys that didn't understand him. And then we get games like the one against Kansas City, 1 catch for 4 yards. We get a lot of those kind of games. A lot of 50 and less yard games from Devontae this year. And I think it had to do with the chemistry between him and the young quarterback. They just didn't have any. I mean, it's the same thing with Myers and Tucker. I mean, you need to work with these people. So our new OC is going to have to work on that big time. Whoever he chooses to be the quarterback, the chemistry between the quarterback and the receivers. But I don't see anything in Getsy's resume that shows me he knows how to make a quarterback work with a receiver in the way that Rodgers say work with Adams. Or, for that matter, any receiver. I mean, the chemistry was just missing last year. Captain, I mean, what do you think?
Well, I can only say that the positives that I do see in him is that he does like to run the ball, and granted, yeah, a lot of that was Justin Fields going off for like 700-800 yards out of that total, but he does like to run the ball.
He was the leading rusher,
right? Mm-hmm. And that is something that our head coach wants. He wants to bring the Raiders back to the old school ground and pound fear, which means to me, run the ball, speedy wide receivers running 9 patterns, and the tight end that can do shit. To me, that's music to my ears. So if that's what he wants, and they picked this guy to do it, I'm sure they at least had some. They didn't just pick him out of a hat. Okay? They didn't pick him out of a hat, because remember, who was there other than Cliff Kingsbury that went for the role? We had Chip Kelly. No, they did.
Why didn't y'all want Chip?
No,
what was wrong with Chip?
Well, then you would still have that dynamic of a guy that was a head coach going down to an OC.
Mm-hmm. And very dangerous for AP.
Right, and they did interview Eric Bieniemy at the end, which was news to me. They did interview Getsy. They interviewed I can't remember who. There are a couple other people, but at least they were in on the process. And if this guy is the one that hit all the check marks, I think I know that they had in Hugh Jackson, Mr. Manny-Petty, in for something.
And you know what? I got nothing against Hugh.
I don't. Like I said, even I told Sharif, I said, hey, I wouldn't mind Manny-Petty in. That's what I call him, Mr. Manny-Petty.
I know.
I wouldn't mind him in as the OC. We could do worse.
And I don't think he'll be. I think that he'll blend well with the team, because Hugh understands now that he can never be a head coach again.
But did we hire him as the QB coach, or is that something that's upcoming?
I think you got to get your OC in place before you start hiring offensive staff.
We do, and I said, now that Getsy's there, do you think that Hugh is going to be coming in as a?
Been there. Like today was the day I think they finalized it today. I'm not sure. Help us out a little bit. But I believe. But now, Captain, we need to, because we're running out of time. We need to move on to the quarterback, and this is the segment I have to rely on you because I
know 2 quarterbacks that are not going to be there.
In the air.
Right. 2 quarterbacks that are not going to be there is Jimmy Garbajopola and Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer got an extra year of pay on the Raiders when he was going to be the QB coach for the Cheatriots. So that's good for him. It's a good job if you can get it. Now, who's going to be our quarterback?
Now the OC, this is the other thing on the OC's list. What do I do about the quarterback position?
Well, I want somebody that is, I want somebody that is a strong passer, but doesn't necessarily needs to be the man, because we're going to be a run heavy, go to the receivers and the tight ends on outlets, and do like we did. So that's no Justin Fields. Okay. It's got the veterans that I would like to see is maybe, and I'd have to check them out, but I would like to have Jacoby Brissett and the kid that was it Gardner Minshew come in as that vet because they're not splashy, they're not the big names, but they get the job done. Okay,
now
they
hold
get the
on.
job
Now
done.
let's parse this out because the Colts have no intention of letting Gardner Minshew go anywhere. So
Okay, well again, I
let's
don't know
talk
what their
about the
contract
crop.
status is.
So
Yeah,
you're thinking
a vet quarterback that's
let's
available. So I
start.
don't know what those
Let's
names
start
are.
with the starter. The
Yeah,
starter.
yeah.
Are you? What are you thinking about in
Well, again,
terms of the
I want
starter?
a vet quarterback is going to come in, somebody that's available. Okay,
I mean,
and
that list is
I
really
don't.
tiny.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I don't know who's available. I mean, people are saying Jameis Winston. Oh my God, I do not want Jameis Winston
Well,
because yeah,
we
I mean, I'm
probably
sorry.
don't have that tiny list. Does include Jameis.
Yeah, I know, but it's the well, can you tell me who's on that tiny list, and I'll tell you who I prefer.
I mean, if you want to talk about free agents,
Free agent
quarterbacks,
quarterback. Okay, and
we're
Kirk
coming.
Cousins, I am not spending $90 million on.
Well, and Kurt knows that his little value has gone down since he tore that Achilles.
Yeah.
So I mean, Kurt knows that, but what do you pay for that wealth of experience in that arm?
If Kirk Cousins comes in on a somewhat of a friendly deal, and again, I don't know all the people on your list, I think that he would be the guy. Joe Flacco, if he's available, would be
Okay.
a good was it like a bridge
So
quarterback?
interesting the names that are turning up on this free agent list. Of course, Tannehill, Kirk Cousins at the top of the list, but
Actually, I think
Tannehill,
Tannehill goes to the Broncos for some reason.
that might be true. Brissett is once again out there. So is
I
Tyrod.
I take
So is
Jacoby
Marcus
Brissett.
Mariota.
No, don't want Mariota. I take Brissett so far over the names that you have. Brissett.
And Sam Darnold is out there.
No.
Minshew will be out there very briefly. Of course, Teddy Bridgewater retired.
He
And
retired.
Joe Flacco is on your list.
Joe
That boy
Flacco's on my list.
Joshua Dobbs actually is out there as well.
He
And
might be a fallback plan. Josh Dobbs, if you coach him up. Baker Mayfield, no.
and I know this is
Baker
going to make you so excited. Carson Wentz is out there.
No.
He's like, and then the list just goes right into of course, Mason Rudolph is out there. And I'll tell you about Mason. God, Pittsburgh made a huge mistake not making him the starter when Roethlisberger left.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why.
Mason Rudolph's not bad.
Smart.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph's not bad.
Really smart. Tell you who else is out there. Of course, we've heard the last of AJ McCarron. I mean, we've heard him for a long time. That's about it. I mean, the names that I would even think about. So you're thinking, get one of these guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking Joe Flacco, Mason Rudolph wouldn't be bad. By the way, AJ McCarron played for the USFL last year. Played well.
Yeah, and I know that, and he's like 40.
No, he's not as much older. He's I think he's probably like 31, 32 maybe.
They don't list the ages on
Yeah,
this list.
he's younger than Flacco. And
Well,
look what Flacco did. And again, Jacoby, if you give me that list, I would take Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett, Mason Rudolph, and Josh Dobbs would be like a fallback. I know that that's not saying.
Can't argue with you on that. Now, what do we do? Like, oh, everybody's talking. We need to move up.
No.
And draft a quarterback.
Nope.
See, I don't know these things. I mean, I'm just.
No. There, like I said, the big three are going to be gone. Okay, Caleb Williams, May, and Jaden Daniels are going to be gone. Okay, we're going to have, but we can have a mix of Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler, and the kid from Tulane whose name escapes me. And the kid from Tulane.
Well, what about the kid from
be,
Michigan, McCarthy?
Oh yeah, JJ
there.
Yeah, he's out there, but I think that this is what I think. Honestly, I think that the Chargers are going to move back up into the first round at the very end of the first round.
What?
And JJ McCarthy.
If he's still there.
If he's still there,
no guarantee he'd be there.
Yeah, I think that's what Harbaugh is going to push down their throats. He said, we're going to get somebody high at number, I think it's 4 or 5. So somebody at that, I think they're 5, right? We're going to get the best player that fits whatever he wants to do at 5, and then they're going to move back and do something like the Ravens did when the Ravens picked up the quarterback that they have now. They picked him up with the number 32 pick because they moved up into the first round to get that extra year of him under contract.
So we stay at number 13, right?
Yeah.
Unless we trade it away. I mean, there's greedy people behind us that really need quarterbacks, right?
Yep, and they'll trade up too.
And there may be a few surprises in your first. And we went over this draft order for 2024. I mean, you're looking at the guys that need quarterbacks. And right away at number 1, if they don't trade that away, I mean, the question is, do the Bears need a quarterback? We don't know. Do the number 2 Commanders, do they need a quarterback? We definitely know.
I know for a fact that okay, I don't know for a fact. 99.99% sure that the reason why Kingsbury went to DC was because he's going to say, I want Caleb Williams.
If the Bears don't pick him.
No, that they said he's gonna either do something. We're gonna move up one spot to get the guy I want, and I don't care what the cost is.
Well,
move up one spot.
It's easier at 2. Yeah.
Right. It's easier at 2 to pay a little bit for one guy, because then if you're the Bears, you said, okay, then we'll take May at number 2, which I think will work out better for him, because I'm pretty sure that Clint Kingsbury is all in on Caleb Williams. He doesn't have to teach him anything. He's already had him for the 2 years there.
Yeah, but that was college. This is pro. I don't even understand the comparison.
Peggy, I get it, but
I'm not even thinking about it.
For Kingsbury, it's an easy get because it's less he has to impart on him.
Yeah, right. Except how to play in the NFL. But let's go to
but that's going to come. Don't
discount New England coming at the Bears, because New England must have a quarterback.
Yeah, but see, I think that New England, if they sit at 3, they're gonna get either Jaden Daniels.
Well, maybe they don't want him. Maybe they want Caleb.
Well, Caleb's gonna be gone, 1 or 2.
No, not if they give remember the Bears are sitting pretty. They can just listen to the Commanders and the Patriots throw them gold and frankincense and myrrh. Yeah. Don't be so sure that the Commanders are going to get that number 1 from the Bears. The Patriots need it too.
Do you remember the very, very, very old movie Oklahoma?
Yes.
Okay.
Joel
McRae, right? Do you remember that Judd Fry, when he was in the bidding contest with Joel McRae, and Joel McRae would say something and what did Judd Fry said? And 2 bits. He would always outbid him. He would always outbid him. It's like, I'll give you 5. He said, and 2 bits, because whatever he did, he outbid him by 50 cents. 2 bits, by the way, folks, is 50 cents.
Let us not underestimate the Patriots' desperate More desperate than Washington, I must say. But like you said, because Kingsbury's there now, he'll
He's
be
going to win them.
exerting. He's gonna,
Yeah,
yeah, but don't be so sure that it's a done deal between the Bears and the Patriots. I mean, and the Commanders. The Patriots are just as desperate, probably even more desperate, right?
I
I
tell you,
mean, think
if
about it.
Caleb Williams goes to the Patriots at number one, my that's going to be the Jim Plunkett part two. They're going to ruin.
They gotta
They're
mess
going
it
to
up,
ruin
bro.
them. They're going to ruin them. They're going to ruin them. Yeah.
Well, of course, but now we don't have the poison there. BB is gone.
No, but still, that organization is going to ruin. Remember, you're talking about a blessed organization because they had the collage of Belichick with TB12.
And,
Okay,
and,
that was a marriage made in. And they had the best kicker in football with Vinatieri. You had all of that going for you. That's why you had all of those wins. That none of them are there. None of them are
and,
there, and that's a
and,
cursed organization too.
well, and now it is. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying. And oh, by the way, we forgot about Peyton and the Denver Broncos, who must have a quarterback.
That's why I think they're going to get Tannehill. I think that they're going to sit pretty and get Tannehill
You
because
think he'll
they
go
pay.
for that?
Yeah,
Peyton will replace a vet quarterback with another vet,
yeah,
not a
and oh,
baby you can groom from the cradle.
and don't be surprised if he goes after Drew Lock, who the guy that he traded away.
Well, did he trade him away? I think that trade was made last year. But we digress. Drew Lock has never shown me anything
You know, I'm just saying
that
that
would make me think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, but I could be wrong.
yeah,
So we don't trade up. We sit at
no,
13. Say we decide we go out in the free agent market and we get one of those guys you were talking about. What if we decide that we're going to sit at 13? Who, what position you want us to go for?
uh, and I know you hate. It's not BPA because I know that you say, well,
Please.
he's going to say BPA. No, I want the best defensive tackle or offensive lineman that's there.
Okay.
The
That's
best
that
defensive
makes
tackle or
sense.
offensive lineman. Because those are two needs with the position at 13, you're going to get somebody that is going to have an impact.
Correct. And with the coaching staff, at least on defense that we have, I feel a lot more confident about bringing in a top pick. I
Mm-hmm.
really do. I mean, no more wasting like we wasted Khalil Mack's time for 4 years. I mean, I think we can do something. Look what they did with little Tyree. Found out that he wasn't an end after all, right? They
Yeah.
found out he was a DT. And see, that's good coaching. He's not in the right position. That's why you don't see the Raiders that have wasted so much talent because of our poor coaching staff, not knowing what to do with some of these guys. Maybe they aren't a strong safety, maybe they're a free safety, right? I mean, just a
Mm-hmm.
little change like that. The great coaches always know how to do that, to put the guy in the right position. Maybe he's not a defensive end, maybe he's a linebacker. I mean, little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make history. They do. I mean, we got HOFers that didn't start their career as the guy, the position that got him in the Hall of Fame. They started somewhere else. Like, well, Joe Jacoby's not in the Hall of Fame, but he started
He
out as
should
a,
be.
but oh, definitely, just like Roger Craig. But
Yeah.
he started out. Joe Jacoby starts out as a D lineman, a
Yeah.
DT, and they converted him to a tackle, and the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that just is superior coaching. I just hope and pray on the offensive side of the ball, Captain. I'm going to have to run. but I'm hoping and praying that we got that kind of guy. We didn't get to our quick list, but we will the next time because actually we'll be farther out. There'll be more additions to the offensive staff, and we'll start really going through the roster and saying who can we trade, who can we waive, who can we let walk, and who do we cut? Wave and
And
cut
then,
are the same things, aren't they?
right, right. Now, and folks, like I said, we will have another show with Miss Peggy because everybody wants to come in with Miss Peggy's here. I
Thank
just don't.
you.
I just don't know when. I don't know when it's going to be. It's not going to be in 2 weeks.
No, it's not,
It's not going to be in 3
but it's
weeks.
okay if it's in March
That's fine.
because
Yeah.
we will have a lot more knowledge. And we top of the hour, we're gonna go through our wave, cut, trade if we can get anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I might think that if they're thinking about bringing back Jacobs, that they'll put Zamir on the block. How many teams would just go right for Zamir? Oh my God, the Raiders are fools.
Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
what they got. They got the next Derrick Henry, but they don't even know it.
Exactly.
And next Adrian Peterson. But anyway, I digress. Thank you so much, Captain, for having me on. It's always enlightening. I always come up with great ideas, and the audience, you guys know so much about football. I learn every time I'm here. Thank you very much, and we will see you in March.
Sometime.
Sometime.
That's right. Hey, Peggy, thanks again. It's always a pleasure when we get together because we have such spirited conversation. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
I know. We go back and forth, but you know me, I'm the geek with the stats and the numbers and things like that, and I interpret numbers and
Yeah.
psychological things like I'm glad Kingsbury didn't come here because he would have overwhelmed AP. He really would have.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. See you later.
Thanks again, Miss Peggy. You take care. That is my favorite lady, DC Peggy Holmes. There you go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care, guys. All right, folks. You got me for a little while. As I stated, I am not going to have shows for the next 3 weeks. Starting with, I might do something for the Super Bowl. I might not. I think my Thursday show, because remember, tomorrow I got Wild Wild West, where we'll be talking about the Super Bowl. Thursday, it's NFL Nation Live at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, talking about the Super Bowl. You don't know jack about sports, 9 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. I think there's a game that we'll be talking about the Super Bowl. And after that, I don't know. All I do know is that as of right now, and I can change this, but as of right now, starting next Monday, for 3 weeks, I will not be here. Excuse me. Oh, heck burp. I will not be here doing shows. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to, but I will be in school 12 hours a day. And I do not have time to go to school and to do the shows afterwards because I need to get sleep. Now, if that changes, I will let you know. But basically, I will be back in March. As of right now, I will be back in March. Please don't be upset. If you care, I appreciate the fact that Peggy said she missed me. That was it. Bishop, you can have a show. Bishop, you can come in on the nights that I normally do it, which is Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. Sunday after your church stuff. Sharif, no, no. And I'm going to put this up here. School is a direct tie-in with employment. That's all I got to say. Something that I don't have in this hand is a job. Something I don't have in this hand is a job. But I got school starting Monday, which gives me the opportunity for a job. So don't hate. Oh, it's not, Angelo, it's not official, but in order to get a job, you need to have the credentials of the school. That's what I'm saying. So, and fuck school. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that people want to see me. I really think. I appreciate that you think highly enough of me that you don't want me to be away. I've been doing shows for years. Tuesday, Thursday, Wild Wild West on Wednesdays and Thursdays, NFL Nation Live on Wednesdays and Thursdays, the show with Peggy on Tuesdays, the show with OG Jack Daniels on Tuesdays. I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm going to miss it a bit. But again, wrong hand. School may lead to a job, and it's something that I have to be relevant in the season. That's all I'm going to say. So, hey, thank you there, Dory. And again, I appreciate it. I don't take this lightly. It's something that I have to do. But school is 12 hours a day, and you definitely need to be awake. And I have problems staying awake because of my medicine. So that's going to be something I have to deal with anyway. So I have problems staying awake, so I got to deal with it. So, and I can't take those 5-hour energies because of my bad ticker. I can't take Jolt Cola or with Superstar. No, that's bad for me. That can cause a heart attack. And I will say this, okay? I have a friend that just texted me today, very good friend of mine, a couple years older than me, saying that he's going in for a double, if not a triple bypass next week. Good friend of mine. And I've already had that. So that's something I say, please, if you can, say some prayers for my friend Dan. He's very, very religious, very devout. And I know that he's going to have people praying for him. So actual classroom and lab work, Sharif. Actual classroom and lab or get out there and do it stuff. 12 hours a day. Classroom and do it. So both of them. Monday through Friday, 12 hours a day. 6 in the morning to 6 at night. And that's why I'm going to make sure that I have to do it. And thank you, Angelo. Prayers. There you go. Bishop, thank you for the prayers for Dan. Dory, thank you for that. Sharif as well. Very good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. Been a very when I had things that I couldn't do here, When I was in Guantanamo, Dan was here to help out, and actually I got Dan to Guantanamo for a job when he needed it. So I've known this gentleman since um, the early 2000s. So I've known him for 20 something years. Very, very great guy. So prayers to my friend Dan. Double, if not triple bypass. I know exactly what that's like, and I got the scars to prove it. So if you're jonesing for content, I will try to let folks know if I'm tired. I'll try to do maybe a video at the end, maybe at the end of the day, maybe at 7 o'clock. I'm not saying I will. Depends on how things are doing, but I will try to keep up. But no 2 hour shows. Like I said, this 11 o'clock. Get done, and I got to be up at what 4:45, 4:30 to get on. Because I got to be there at 6, and I don't know how bad traffic is. Eat a lot of brain food. Okay, Bishop. Like I said, Bishop. If Bishop does the show, Bishop. Like I said, let me know what needs to be done. Maybe if you're comfortable, come on in. Getty, breaking news: Raiders, Robinson. Janarius Robinson? Huh. Yeah, there's always somebody doing something stupid on Super Bowl week. What is it? Alvin Kamara? Well, that was during the draft, right? But there's always an event that they're doing something stupid. Yeah, no, I said I'm going to be focusing on school because remember, wrong hand again. School gets you a job, maybe, and it's not even guaranteed. So, hey, and Angela said, Angelo, Angelo can do, yeah, Angelo and Bishop. Maybe I'll get you and Bishop, Angelo Bishop. Get with me. I'll have to figure out how to get you into the studio and do it. I'm pretty sure you can handle it. It would be fantastic. But yeah, get with me this week. I think both you guys have my number. I'd love for you guys to sit in for me. Angelo, you need to make sure that the bishop gets a word in edgewise, okay? He needs to get a word in edgewise. And by the way, if you missed it, Angelo and Ozzy, Wayward Ozzy Raider, had a fantastic show about the cap and the Raiders and things that why not trade up from number 13 to trade up, okay? Great show. Make sure that you go and I pimped it out. I pimped out where it was. It was on the Wayward Ozzy Raider channel, War. Go watch the show. Fantastic show. But yeah, maybe I'll turn it over to Angelo and the Bishop. But I want to ask Bishop about this as well, because Bishop, you put this. I want to bring it back to you real quick, okay? And thank you for everybody for the good lucks. I want to bring it back up. Bishop was saying, according to local Vegas, and I know that Anna's in here somewhere because Anna and Bishop are my Vegas. Oh, and Angela's there in Vegas too. Keep forgetting. Angela's in Vegas, Anna's in Vegas, the Bishop's in Vegas. Maybe they can get together at one of the places and just do it. That would be fantastic. Anyway, I I want to go back to what you were saying, okay, is that the local news, i.e. the Vegas news, was reporting that the Raiders are going to jump up in the draft. Okay. I need to know the source. I need to know because remember the Raiders always during Super Bowl week, they always had something to talk about. Just like, let's give them something to talk about. I know I suck at that. It's way out of my range. But the point is that the Raiders would always make sure that there is a news story that involves the Raiders so people will talk about it during Super Bowl week because they want to make sure that people remembered the Raiders. It's true. There's always something. It hasn't really happened in a while, but this is what they were saying. If there is something you want to talk about, I'm going to do a quick. I'll give you the link. And I said we will have Miss Peggy in studio something March. I say this now because maybe I'll be working. Maybe I won't be able to do it for another month. I don't know. But we'll see. I put the link up. I of course, here it is. Throw it out there. And who is the first person to pop in? I would think it'd be Angelo Reyes, and otherwise known as Raider Transplant. So he is here. And there you go. War Productions. War Productions says salute to Angelo. Go watch the show. And I'm sure he's going to talk about it. Go watch the show. 2 hours about, I think it was a while. It was a long show. But you know what? I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let him talk about it. We got Raider Transplant, a.k.a. Angelo. How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Good
It was
to see
nice
you.
for you to have Miss Peggy on.
Yes.
I like her personality. She's fun. I think that again where I could tell you were getting worked up a little bit too.
Well, Miss Peggy and I have known each other for years, and we love having these combative. We love each other. We do.
Right.
We have that, but we have some very combative discussions.
Right.
And it's great. I love it. And you know what? I love the fact that Miss Peggy loves me too.
Right. Right.
No, and the thing is like when the show used to be Captain and Wenches, and all of the ladies got pissed off about it, saying that I was a misogynist, and it's like no, it was Miss Peggy, it was Angria, and it was Kevlar Prom. They're the girls that said yes, we're Captain's Wenches. They're the ones that did the title. But they got a lot of flack. They got a lot of flack from the ladies, so we dialed it back.
Right.
Silver and black ladies night. That's fine. But it wasn't me. It was not me. People thought, oh, you friggin' misogynistic, sexist mofo. And it wasn't me. They said that they liked the title. They're the ones that brought it forward. Captain and Wenches. Yep. So for all those that are out there, fuck you. It was not me. And I, like I said, I love Miss Peggy. She's my DC wench, Kevlar prom dress, aka Heidi. Love her to death. And when Angry was around, and Angry's been very busy with her kid and other things, we had a great format. But it's gone down a bit. But maybe we'll bring it back up. But yeah, hey, Peggy is a great time. Heidi's very knowledgeable. Angry is very knowledgeable as well. So maybe one of these days we'll bring it back. But that's why I said Angela would be a fantastic host for my show. But you gotta let Bishop talk a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cap, like we're used to being Raiders fans where people won't like us just because, right? Just because we're a Raider fan,
Yes,
and
guys.
and
Yes,
like
guys.
our head coach says, AP, we don't want to be liked. We want to be respected. And
That's
and
right.
I think that that's where a lot of I had a lot of fun on Ozzy's channel, Ozzy Raider. You guys can check it out. It's right there, War Productions. It was about an hour and a half of us giving the actual information out. So a lot of the questions Miss Peggy had, if she had just watched an hour and a half of me and Ozzy breaking it down, we actually talked about the cap, how the cap influences the Raiders, who you could let go, who they probably won't let go, and then who are the free agents that we want, and then how we would draft. And in that, we lived in a Marvel universe, Cap, of
Okay.
we're not
A
trading.
perfect universe. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're not
Okay,
trading.
okay.
And the whole point was, why would we trade? We're at number 13. There's going to be a lot of action happening up top. So we it's kind of like being the last player on a blackjack table, right? Like, we're just going to make our move based on what we see that everybody else is doing, but trying to be aggressive to get a quarterback. We even talked about every single team that's done it, the 29 teams that traded to move up to go get a quarterback. There's not one of them. And if any of you guys right now in the chat want to tell us, we didn't find any place that traded up that high and it actually became successful. Every single person that traded the farm to go get QB didn't work.
Okay.
Didn't work at all.
And you didn't put Patrick Mahomes trade in that equation.
So now here's the whole thing. We did talk about that part, and we said, yeah, if that's the trade, if the trade for Patrick Mahomes is the trade we're doing, great. But that was nothing. They didn't trade a lot, Cap. They didn't trade a lot to go up to go get Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I can give you the exact because we were writing the notes on it. But, when everybody, people who just don't know, they bring that up. They go, well, it worked out for Patrick Mahomes. It's like, yeah, do you even know what they actually gave up? Because it wasn't a lot. It was.
Well, it was to Chicago too, wasn't it? Chicago was the trade
yeah.
partner.
Let me. I'm gonna get the exact notes. So I don't get it wrong for people.
Okay. While you're looking at, I think it was. I think it was about 6 spots, and it was to number 10. And I think Chicago's the one that they traded the pick to. They traded up because Chicago. I might be. Tell me I'm wrong, Angelo. But again, I'm not looking at anything. I'm pulling this out of my mind and out of my ass to the number 10 pick, and I think Chicago had it.
Here's the and I've sent this text to a couple of friends of mine, but I said, hey, if you're busy searching for people that traded up for a quarterback and it actually worked out, I said, you won't find it. Good luck. And I said, but I'll help you out. This is the best trade to move up in the draft to get their guy at quarterback if someone in the top 3 this year is willing to do it. And then I talked about the Chiefs. So here was the actual written article that talked about this. It goes, Chiefs strike gold with Patrick Mahomes in 2017. The trade was Kansas City sends its first-round pick, which was number 27. So they had the 27th overall pick. They sent that one, which is pretty low, Cap, their third-round pick, and a 2018 first-round pick to Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
So they traded up to Buffalo to get the number 10 overall pick. Okay. And that was the trade for Patrick Mahomes. The reason why you're kind of remembering that Chicago one is I believe that's the stupid one where Chicago traded up, passed up on Patrick Mahomes, and they went to get Mitch Trubisky, which was one of the examples used on why you don't sell the farm to go get your guy, right? Like everybody keeps going, well, the Raiders got to go get their guy. And in that entire conversation, my point was, you can not like me for saying this, but we have the guy that can beat Patrick Mahomes. His name's Max Crosby. So if everybody keeps just calm the fuck down, even Patrick Mahomes has been saying, I hate playing against Max Crosby. So if we draft accordingly and we get the correct free agents, names that you've mentioned before, Captain Jack, where we surround Max Crosby with talent, then we're going to win. because that's the thing we have to do. Last year we almost beat them twice, right? Now, then that's with the pieces that we had.
We
that
we
we
beat
had
them.
we had the first game that was good.
We were I think we were tied in the first half in Vegas. I think we were tied.
We were ahead
Or I know it was.
14-0,
I think
and
we
then
were
they
tied.
caught up to tie it up. Right.
Right. So yeah, it was tied. We beat them in the first quarter, and then the second quarter they came back. So I think it was tied 14-14, or it might have been 17-14, or we might have been losing at that point. But yeah, we beat them for about a third of the game, and then we lost it. And so yeah, we lost it after that because
yeah. And here's a key thing to that, right, Captain Jack? And even today, when you heard AP doing his he was doing his media run today. He was on the Rich Eisen show. He did the riding with the bus. He did everybody's show today, right? And even he talked about that game. And what he said, based on his experience as a player too, is that usually teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, when they've been playing a lot of football over the last X number of years, they're tired. They're tired, especially getting in later. So all he did for that particular game plan, for that particular team, is to punch them in the mouth. He just went after them. Now we have Telesco, who's going to give us talent. We have our coaching staff built. We're going to have an off season where AP gets to really put his hands and get to work on everyone. You really think we can't beat the Chiefs twice next year? I think we will. And I'll tell you why I think we will. Because they're tired, Cap. They're tired. Whether they win or lose this Super Bowl, they're going to be still tired. And you know, I think that Chiefs, that one game kind of opened it up for everyone. Like where they were like, you could punch the Chiefs in the mouth unless they can somehow rebuild with youth. So Cap, like right now, there are two big free agents that's about to be let go by the Chiefs unless they pay them. And you know which ones I'm talking about. It's Chris Jones, right? Chris Jones is going to cost anywhere between 25 to 30 million. He's probably going to go with the highest bidder because he's 29 years old and he wants to make the most money, especially if he wins a Super Bowl. Are you effing kidding me? If Chris Jones wins the Super Bowl on Sunday, he's gone. He's like, unless you're going to pay me the most, I'm leaving. Tyreek Hill left because he couldn't turn down that money. You guys don't think Chris Jones is going to leave? So that changes the entire defense. The other one that no one's talking about is Snead. Ladarius Snead is a free agent. So unless the Chiefs are willing to give him a really fat extension, Ladarius Snead is going to get close to Jalen Johnson type money. So imagine, Cap, imagine in a world where when me and Aussie Raider broke it down, we were talking about the possibility that the Raiders will most likely have about $60 million in cap space by the time they finish doing all these different cuts and moves, right? For $60 million, it is possible that we could also steal both Ladarius Snead and we could steal Chris Jones. That's very possible. And
and then we won't have anybody else to get because all of our cap money will be gone. I tell you what though, Chris Jones, I want him, but I don't because he's going to cost a lot of money. Snead is younger, but I will say this though, Snead gets away with so much holding that's not called. and I'm not saying it because because it's one of those things that where when you are a Raider and you wear the black, they're automatically going to throw those flags on you. Okay,
well,
when Randy,
you know that narrative is changing though.
You know what? For this year, it did. But here's the thing: if you take away those two people from the Chiefs, first off, you won't have money for anybody else. That's your spending. That's your spending.
Right.
And
we were looking at it, Cap. So Snead will probably be like 15 million because that's what Jalen Johnson's going to go for. Anywhere between 12 and 15 million in a four or 5 year contract. So we were starting our cap space at about 60 million. We were thinking it's probably going to be a little over 60 million, but we were starting at 60. So
I'm very frugal. I said, don't give me the amount of money that you think. Do it at a less, because it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. I'd say go 50. And if you go 50 and you have, and I'm thinking that you had Jones at about 28, 29.
Yeah, Jones was going to be between 25 and 30, but we actually talked about how we weren't going to get Jones, because we were talking about how we would draft someone like Byron Murphy or the kid from Michigan, Chris Jenkins, because his dad also, it's kind of like a legacy pick for defensive tackle. And we were spending the majority of our money on getting Jalen Johnson so that we can have a great two island cornerbacks in having Jack Jones. And then on the other side, we would have a Jalen Johnson and solidify that. And then we were spending the rest of the money.
JJ.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, Jalen Johnson is young. He's good. He wants to play for AP. We think that we could probably get him for about 12 million, because he'll probably give the discount to come to Vegas. Remember that $15 million playing for Chicago, let's say, is still going to be less money after taxes than 12 million.
Yeah, because it's Illinois. Yeah, it's Illinois and Vegas.
Right.
Well, and remember,
he's not
you also need to remember, right. We also need to remember that it's only a discount when he's playing at home. A lot of people forget that. It's only a discount for the home games. When you're on the road, you got to pay taxes on the road.
And also the bonus money, though, Cap. The bonus money is discounted, or in terms, I mean, not a discount, but you know what I mean? In terms of a tax incentive, because you get all of the money up front from the state that you're getting it from. So that's we also talked, like me and Aussie Raider, we talked about how it could work for Josh Jacobs, because you can make Josh Jacobs a Raider lifer. You give him, let's say, a 5-year contract, and you kick the money. No, listen, Cap. The way we did it is you kick the money, you keep kicking the can. So you front load him with a bonus, but he's only going to cost us between 6 or 8 million in the cap over the next back-to-back years. I mean, if you really think about it, Josh Jacobs was going to cost another team closer to 10 million. But to be a lifelong Raider, if he only cost us 6 million this year, that's between 6 and 8. You know, like that's how we started it. Is we thought we would get up to, let's say, 66 million in terms of how much money we can have, right? And if Josh Jacobs takes away 6 million, we're playing with a little under 60. You know, and then that's where you can really make a lot of moves.
Do you really? And Peggy had a very good point here. And it probably was the point of the evening. Do you really think that Josh Jacobs is going to come in and be all about a running back by committee?
I
don't think he will.
No, I think Josh Jacobs right now will not only come in and take a long-term deal, so he never has to think about it anymore, because he'll be front-loaded with the cash up front, with a bonus, with a front bonus. But I think he wants to be a Raider for life. And remember, Cap, you know, the Filipino community loves Josh Jacobs, and the number one Asian group in Nevada is Filipino. Josh Jacobs will probably get more backing as the number one Filipino player in the entire NFL. It's something that he always reps. He always puts the flag on his helmet. So PR wise, it's a great move. Now that and again, this is where Miss Peggy didn't quite understand it, because I don't think she's watched as many films on Luke Getsy since we knew he was going to get hired. And a lot of us started watching, like went back to when he was with Mississippi State and was like, okay, let's see exactly what went wrong. So for anyone who wants to be convinced that Luke Getsy was actually the correct move and we dodged the bullet by not taking Cliff Kingsbury, which a lot of other experts are saying, man, the Raiders dodged the bullet, because, you know, you don't really want that. As first of all, AP wants to, you know, AP always says he knows what he knows. and he also knows what he doesn't know. So he doesn't want to have to deal with an offensive coordinator that's going to butt heads with him, right? He's going to tell the offensive coordinator exactly what it is. Now, in some of the research, if you do it, there are people that talked about how Luke Getsy interviewed. And AP, when he was interviewing all of these different coaches, was really harsh on him. Would like right away say, hey, why'd you fail on this? Why did this go wrong? Tell me exactly what happened here. And one of the things they liked about Luke Getsy is he never put anyone under the bus. He answered it factually. He answered all the questions factually. He explained the process, but he would and he could have. And there's insiders that said Luke Getsy could have easily thrown people under the bus, and Luke Getsy wouldn't do it. And I think that AP saw that as like, okay, I could work with this guy. So it wasn't like AP was the bridesmaid, you know, he was close. And Devontae was the one that was pushing for Getsy. So if you do more research, you'll notice that when Devontae Adams went to Green Bay in the first year, or I think he was doing not that great. And then when Luke Getsy came in as the wide receiver coach, they built a relationship. And then Devontae started becoming Devontae. So Devontae was totally wanted Luke Getsy because he knows the type of coach he is. And then when you research all the other quotes that come out about what other coaches have said about Luke Getsy, he's very similar to AP in the sense that he was a player himself. He was a quarterback. He was a quarterback in a Division I program. He's extremely respected, and he's a teacher. He's not really like, do what I say because I know better. He's like, hey, I'm going to teach you what you don't know, and then let's work on that process. So when Miss Peggy kept talking about, well, what happened with Justin Fields? Well, first of all, Justin Fields was injured, so there is that. So if you're going to say, well, Luke Getsy didn't do good for XXX, you also have to remember what AP literally just said today, which is, well, Luke Getsy kicked our ass, and he kicked our ass with Tyson Bagent, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, and by the way, Tyson Bagent is the type of a quarterback, more style so, that Luke Getsy wants. So Luke Getsy's offense or his philosophy is about winning the trenches. He wants to win the battle in the run game. He wants to wear you down. He wants to pound on you. That's kind of like what he likes to do, right? When he does the pass.
Okay, well,
go ahead. Go ahead.
What quarterback would fit Luke Getsy's offense that are available, or you think it would be that we can have?
AOC 4 is a perfect quarterback for Luke Getsy's offense. And again, for people who aren't happy about AOC 4, just look at the draft tapes. There are people that wanted Aiden O'Connell ahead of us. That's why we traded up to get Aiden O'Connell. There are other people that wanted him, you know. So, but AOC 4, he processes quickly, and on a whole year of Luke Getsy's offense, AOC 4, the whole thing about Luke Getsy's offense is you can't turn the ball over, so don't hold the ball too long. And that's where Justin Fields would mess up. And there are tapes out there where you can see how Luke Getsy actually made the correct call, and then Justin Fields just overthrew the pass or missed the receiver or made the wrong read. So you can't really blame Luke Getsy for a bad player decision. You can only blame Luke Getsy if he didn't make the right call, right? Like the player's got to play. But in terms of when you say, okay, well, who else is going to be in our quarterback room? Well, we have Anthony Brown Jr., who maybe could be developed, maybe not. You're right, Cap. We're probably going to get a veteran, somebody who we don't know who it is.
We're going to get a veteran. We're going to have AOC 4. And if Anthony Brown shows something between now and the draft, he might be that guy. We might not draft a quarterback if he shows enough. If not, we will get a quarterback somewhere, and it'll be somebody that fits you know what we're doing. Power Raider wants me to see you soon in Vegas. Wait, this is I got to give it. No, I'm not coming to Vegas anytime soon. And thank you, Power Raider. I'm not laughing at you. This is the conversation. When I find a job, and that's why I'm not going to be on the show for 3 weeks, because I'm trying to find a job and I'm going to school. Unless Power Raider is gonna send me a plane fare and let me stay at that wonderful new house of his, right? It ain't happening. And by the way, school starts Monday after the Super Bowl, so I will not be there this week because I can't go to the Super Bowl and be back in time for school at 6:00 in the morning on Monday, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Thanks.
Hey,
Power Raider says always welcome. Thank you there, Steve. I appreciate that.
hey, Cap.
Go ahead,
yeah,
there.
I want to shout out Power Raider too. I think Power Raider is pretty awesome. I follow all of the stuff that he always does on Instagram. And welcome to Las Vegas, brother. Welcome to Las Vegas. Raider Nation loves you over here, so that's awesome. That's awesome that you're finally.
And again, everybody's moving to Vegas. Power Raiders moving to Vegas. Hollywood's moving to Vegas. I don't need to move to Vegas. My house is paid. I just need a place to hang.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. But Cap, talking about the quarterbacks again.
One second. Hey, Xavier's back in the back room. Xavier, I'm not going to be able to get to you tonight because I only got about 2 minutes, and I got to do my algo. But Xavier is the guy that says Boston. Xavier's a great fan from Boston. He will definitely talk lots of good sports. So if you have the con, Scotty, you take the con, Scotty, with you and Bishop, and I'll figure out how to do that. You guys can use the studio. I have no problem with somebody filling in for me for 3 weeks, if not longer. I don't mind that. I'm sure that my people from the Northeast Streaming Sports Network, along with they love it. So there you go. And you can swear. I know you don't swear, and I know that Bishop doesn't swear because he's a bishop. But Xavier, thanks for trying to come in, partner. We don't have to swear. Fuck that. We don't have to swear. Xavier, thanks again, partner. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, thanks, Crash. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Crash. Yeah, no, a lot of the info that we try to put out is stuff where it's hard to keep up with it, right? Like I always talk to Cap about different draft things because Cap's busy trying to get a job, right? I'm recovering from liver transplant, so I got a little bit more time looking up all of these different things right now.
And it'll be fantastic. It'd be fantastic to have you guys to go. And if Jason Dean is there, Jason Dean Hunter, aka I can't remember his character's name. He's a draft guy too. He is a draft guy. So you guys could have as much fun doing a draft show, and I'd like for that. Hopefully, when I return from school and with a job, it might be later than March. I don't know, but I'm gonna let this happen. But I love it. So again, Angelo, get with me. I will figure out. And Bishop, if Bishop is still here, that would be great. So I have no problem with you two guys doing a show as long. Like I said, got to make sure that the Bishop talks because then the blessings, and he'll give you blessings too. He does give blessings. That's one of the best things about Bishop is that he's a sailor like me, but he's high up in the church, man. And he's in Vegas,
awesome.
So you guys,
I love that.
You guys can get together in Vegas because he's in Vegas with you. So that would be a good thing.
That's amazing. That's great, Bishop.
Yeah. But I'll get and you guys get with each other and then get with me before Sunday, so we can work this out.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you for sure.
Yeah, please do. And I said I got about a minute because I got to do my outro. Give me your best in a minute, like you said. I like all of your information. I like the fact that you're very high on Getsy. I'm glad that you. And by the way, if you have yet to see the report, the show that Angelo did with Wayward Aussie Raider, the War Report, do that. And if they're taking over my show for 3 weeks, I say thank you, gentlemen, because I'd love to have somebody because you're going to take my show and they say, fuck Captain, we want these guys to do the show.
No. I think you beat us, Cap, on entertainment. I just like to put out actual information for people where instead of them, there's too much emotions instead of, there's actual facts. So just look it up, and then
I
you can make a decision on your own.
I did
Yeah.
that.
No, you do, Cap. No,
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of the comments sometimes they'll say something, and I'm like, did you not read this already, or did you not see this info already? So, yeah.
Hey,
But
there's
no,
only-
no.
there's only-
In terms of us quarterbacks, Cap, right now, again, because the Senior Bowl just happened, there's a ton of tapes on everyone talking about everyone. But Spencer
Who you are?
Rattler's a name that's being
Yep,
thrown out. He
yep.
was the MVP for the Senior Bowl.
You was the MVP,
Honestly,
yep.
I think that if Michael Penix drops or if Bo Nix drops to the second round, Raiders might go pick them up. But if they don't, or if they get picked up before, really look for Michael Pratt. I think Michael Pratt's the guy that the Raiders might even use a bottom trade to move up again to the late second. They have the third pick, which I think they could have drafted Michael Pratt. But if it looks like someone else is going to get Michael Pratt in the late second, don't be surprised if the Raiders trade up to go get Pratt. Because Pratt, if you guys want to just watch his tapes, that's the type of quarterback that would work for Luke Getsy's offense too. And he would give good competition with AOC4. I'm still a believer on AOC4. My comp for AOC4 is Eli Manning. I think that you guys just got to give him a chance. You got to give the kid a chance. Give him a chance to get you with Devontae.
I'll give him a chance with a improved offensive line, and I got to get out of here.
All right. Thanks, Cap. Thank you so much. I'll call you.
Thanks,
Cap.
Angelo. Yeah, get with me. I got to get with Vicky. There's people I need to call. Thanks for coming in. I see my boy DJ Singleton was here. Thank you as well. Hey, it's always fun, and I appreciate somebody that's manning the controls for me while I'm at school. You say, hey, fuck school. No, like I said, school, job, maybe. That's all I can say. School, job, and maybe. We are up against the hard break. Take care, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wild Wild West. Be there. Wild Wild West, 7:30 Eastern Time. One more look at the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Take care, everybody. We'll see you.